This is your life with Lockie. All right, here we are out in North Terrace by the university here. I've got Kelly here. She's out here to share her story with me today as well. So how are you doing, Sir Kelly?
Good, thanks.
Good?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
beautiful. I'm
gone.
glad you can make it out today.
Yeah.
Thought we'd just go for a little walk because, walking's always good to help flowing stories, that kind of stuff as we go on.
Absolutely.
But Kelly, you're a midwife and you said you moved over from New Zealand, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I did. I moved over in 2013.
Yep.
Originally just to have a bit of a break and try something new and earn a bit of money to keep traveling.
Beautiful.
But I met my husband Tony 5 weeks after I moved here. So
You said you studied in New Zealand, got your
Yeah.
ticket over there. Like you said, the adventures come now as you get a bit older and
I came over and started working as a midwife here. And we've been on a few overseas holidays, but other than that, I've stayed here. We got married and we've had children after that.
That's beautiful. That's really, really cool. And so you, as a midwife, you've done a lot in the birth sector, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
How was your work in New Zealand, that kind of stuff? How did you go with that? Is it good?
It was great. Yeah, it was lots of fun. I was working as a continuity of care midwife. So that meant that I would get phone calls from people that were pregnant and who wanted to link in with a midwife, and I would provide that care at each antenatal visit and then look after them through their pregnancy, then labour and birth and be with them for that, and then provide care for 6 weeks after the baby was born and help them settle into parenthood. So that was a really nice model of care to work in, and it shifted across a little bit when I moved to Australia.
Yep.
There's a slightly different system, although privately practicing midwives do provide that same model of care.
That'd been quite cool to have that continuity, like you say, the same person coming through as the pregnancy goes along, like kind of checking in, because you'd be able to notice those little subtle changes from week to week or month to month when you're checking in, rather than having a different midwife coming in all the time. So that'd be a really, really cool role, I can imagine, for you.
Yeah, I find a lot of enjoyment in continuity of care. You get to know the family and what their values and what their hopes are for the pregnancy. We can do care planning together. But another important aspect is, as you get to know someone through a pregnancy, being able to find anything that was changing and needing to have that referral and consultation pathway, because you've got that already established relationship. It's easier to pick those things up, and we can also keep conversations going over a pregnancy, help with that education and care in that regard. So I love that. I find it's families have a lot of satisfaction in that too, because they can form that relationship with their clinician.
I can imagine, like you say, you get to know them a bit better, have that continuity of care. So when the time does come, you can be ready to advocate for them. Because I know sometimes during that stage of coming up to it, you're not always able to ask the right questions, kind of stuff, or advocate in the right way at the exact time. But someone like yourself who's been with them over that few weeks leading up to time, you can go, hey, I believe that's something they like, that kind of, I got to know them. There's something you did in the birthing plan, written down, that kind of stuff. So it's great to have that beautiful care from someone like yourself, Kelly.
Yeah, no, definitely. You're absolutely right there. And we may have already had that conversation through pregnancy. So it's not that you come in during someone's labour or anything like that and you're meeting them for the first time. We've got that established relationship and that sense of trust. And I think that also helps when people are going in for their labour and birth, that, they already know me or whoever the midwife is, or the doctor in that instance, if there's continuity of care with an obstetrician. So there's already that established relationship that goes such a long way to making people feel comfortable in that moment.
Definitely. Yeah, it can be hard to find your words at times, so having someone like yourself advocating really, really helps in that space. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then so you did a lot of that in New Zealand. You've done a bit more of that private care in Australia as well, or have you gone?
I do see people in the postpartum phase of their pregnancy, like their pregnancy experience now. But other than that, I have been working up at Lyle McEwen in the birth centre up there for quite a few years.
Beautiful.
And now I am on campus studying.
Wow, yeah, back here doing a little study. I thought we'd come in and have a chance to chat with you. It's a beautiful little campus here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always gorgeous at this time of year with the purple flowers.
Yes, the flowers coming out looking quite nice. So it's a good chance for us to stroll through here and that kind of stuff and see it all. And so I suppose the other side of being a midwife, that kind of stuff, there is still a bit of loss in some parts of it too.
Yeah.
Did you want to share a little bit about your story?
Yeah, absolutely. I was I had my first baby, William. He's now 9. And we were growing our family. We were pregnant with our second child. And at 32 weeks, my daughter's Phoebe was stillborn. So that was, a huge experience for us. It was just devastating, and it still is to this day. And it's really changed how I approach my midwifery care, and has drawn me into the research space now, where I'm studying and doing a PhD in perinatal loss and bereavement care. So yeah, it fundamentally changed who we are as a family. And Phoebe's still got a huge place in our lives despite not being with us
Definitely.
Yeah, and we had a third child. I had a pregnancy after loss a year later, and Margot is our youngest child. So
Wow, that's really
three
sweet.
babies, but two at home with us.
Yeah, that's beautiful to hear. And thank you for sharing that story with us as well. And I can relate how hard that is kind of thing, but great to hear that you've had a chance to, I suppose, also with the midwife experience and now having the experience loss too, there isn't too many of my understanding midwives out there with that kind of double side of the spectrum, which is, not say you want them in there, but it's amazing to have someone with your caliber of skill in there helping people going through a time of loss kind of thing. So have you had to help many women through after a child after loss kind of thing in your midwife?
I have had a little bit of experience. So because I work in the birth centre at Lyell McEwen, we don't see many people with high risk pregnancies because they get cared for in a different part of the hospital.
Yeah.
But when I was working in New Zealand and at another hospital here in Adelaide, there was some experience that I've had with bereaved parents and caring for them at the time of loss. I haven't had any experience caring for families after that point because I've now started studying.
I suppose, yeah, having a midwife like yourself now who's had the experience of loss coming into that community, so you'd be able to help other women going through the same experience, your personal shared life experience would be really, really helpful, I can imagine, on the wards.
Yeah, I agree. It has definitely changed how I approach my midwifery. I think I bring a different perspective now because of that personal experience. So the things that we cover when we're studying to be a midwife, we don't really talk about, what to say to parents when they've lost a baby and what not to say, and things that can really help in that moment. And so I think now, having gone through it, there's that extra level of understanding. And I think that's also what's driven me to do a bit more study in the area too, because I've managed to find a little bit of a gap in terms of research that hasn't been done in this space to be able to provide that care for families.
And that's all we can do is try and find those gaps, because there are a few out there kind of thing, and it's a hard space to share with, I know, and so those women have been supportive over the years in this kind of loss as well. And so now it's really good to see women and even fathers sharing their experience through this time as well, that kind of stuff, and giving them a voice, which is hopefully then, giving the future people a better chance of having less losses and less negative experiences like us, that kind of sense. So hopefully we can make that difference. And I appreciate you sharing Phoebe's story as well, and coming out here and doing this all as well. And even putting the hard work into doing the study, doing that kind of stuff, which is hopefully going to make changes in the future too and help people go on there too.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, we don't know what we don't know. And I think when it comes to parents having that experience and then finding an interest in the area of wanting to give back, like you and Jess do, I think for me, I want to keep studying in this area because I know how important that continuity of care relationship is. And I really hope that through what I'm studying now and the research that I'm doing, that we can hopefully change care pathways or just improve their access for choice in terms of the care pathways that people enter when they're having a pregnancy after loss.
Yep.
And going back to the men's grief, there was someone in the same department that I'm in now that was doing their PhD in men's grief and loss for perinatal loss experiences. So those kind of areas that haven't traditionally been researched in the past are really starting to come to the forefront. And I think a lot of it has been a groundswell of parents that have shared their experiences and highlighted areas where the care can be improved. So yeah, it's been great.
And that's hats off to those brave parents who are doing that kind of thing. It's going to be a hard thing to talk about.
Yeah.
In that kind of space to get the change going in that kind of way.
Yeah.
I did have a question. I was trying to remember what the question was now, but that's all right. It's it's like, even like you're saying, Jessica had a chance this morning, was on the radio with Bernie Vincent and Belinda Sloan, I think it was, and they're doing a raising awareness for the Village Co. Which does a lot for mums who come in maybe not on the best front foot kind of thing with life, that kind of stuff. So you're getting a pack of goodies that kind of take home with them and baby and that kind of stuff. And then the even harder side of things, I suppose, is if you go in there and you don't live with baby and not living with anything. So having this Village Co. have a great organisation that put bags together, help women to go home with at least something kind of thing. So that's really, really good, the Village Co. I'm really grateful for that. So Jess got on and share that.
Organisation. Yeah, we have the Village Co. packs at our hospital. We've given them out. I've given them out to a few people along the years. And, if we're thinking about someone coming in and they've got that devastating news that they've lost a baby and they come in with no bags packed and nothing with them, having a gift like that through the Village Company is amazing. It just goes just it's that extra bit of compassion to have, you know, a toothbrush and some goodies to take home that make you feel supported and cared for, and including that self-care. So everyone deserves that, don't they?
Definitely.
Particularly during a devastating experience like loss.
Yeah, exactly. So when you have the child or don't have the child, I think it can be a hard time to even be understanding that when a woman is pregnant, they can lose up to 20% of the grey matter in their brain developing that baby. So that way decision making can be very hard at that time. So trying to help women by giving them a foot forward or giving them some prompts, that kind of stuff, and giving them a little bit more time to make those decisions can be helpful, especially in that hard time of that, where you're having to regrow your brain and that kind of stuff and make hard decisions in life. I think so. It's great to have that support through these organisations, that kind of sense.
Yeah, definitely. And when you come in and you've been faced with a shocking experience like loss or anything else that happens, sometimes having that helping hand and having that time to make those decisions, or having a clinician that you know, whether that's a midwife or a doctor, can really help with just slowing everything down and bringing in what you know about that family and reminding them of what was important to them a few weeks ago, and just reminding them of that in that moment to help with decision making is really important.
Definitely is. Yeah, really grateful for you coming out and sharing this topic with me, Kelly, today as well. I've probably got a million other questions, but right now I think that's probably enough for the moment, kind of thing. Is there any final messages you'd like to send out there to the viewers, that kind of stuff? Any take-home things, that kind of stuff, or anything you'd like to share?
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
It is. It's nothing but a small thing, big thing. You happy with it?
My main shout out is for the parents who are watching this. You don't have to do any grand gestures with your life if you do lose a baby, but I tell you what, it is a motivating factor for a lot of parents, and you will find that special way of remembering your baby and including their name in conversations and in what you do in life. So, you know, the walk to remember with Red Nose and the advocacy that you and Jess are doing for Theo, those are amazing. And I don't know if you realize just how important it is for other families too. So I just wanted to pay it back and say thank you to you guys.
Thank you, Kelly.
For keeping Theo's name in our consciousness and really showing parents that, you know, there's a community out there that are wanting to walk beside you and support you during this time. And it's really admirable. You guys.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And like you say, it's a hard time having these great organisations, like yourself, creating the awareness, Red Nose, Red Tree, and even Olivia Savith out there getting out the MP doing the thing. So all those people putting in their 2 cents has helped to make this space easier to talk about, I suppose, and seen a bit more. And yeah, it's been a huge part of, you know, helping myself and Jess live on, I suppose, without Theo, but live on for him in that sense. So it's been really cool. So really grateful for that. And I think you've come in here today, Kelly. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work. All right.
Cheers.
Thank you. See yous.